Hey guys, today I'm going to be walking you through the ultimate guide to homebrewing your Wii. This guide will include one single download with everything you need on it and show you how to get the homebrew channel, how to protect your Wii from bricks with Bootmii and Priiloader, how to back up and play games with USB Loader GX, how to install WADs, and how to download homebrew apps straight from your Wii. Now in this method, we are going to be using the exploit that requires an internet connection. If you want to see the guide on how to do everything without internet, you can find that link below. But anyways, let's get started. For this tutorial, you will need a Wii, an SD card, which I'll be using this 16GB SD card I have here, a USB drive, if that's how you want to store your Wii games, and a way to download and extract files. When it comes to USB devices, not every type is compatible, so I will have a few different ones I've linked below that I have tested myself. So let's get started. In order to get the homebrew channel, we're going to run an exploit by changing DNS settings. Now for that, we're going to go into the Wii options, but first make sure you have an SD card in, because we're going to download Bootmii at the same time, and it only downloads onto a SD card. So go into your Wii settings. First thing that you're going to check is that your version is 4.3. Now the letter is the region, so mine is North America, so it's U, E for Europe, and J for Japan, etc. But make sure it's updated to 4.3 before you continue. So let's go to the internet settings, and the first thing we're going to do is make sure that our connection works. I use a USB to Ethernet cable to have a wired connection, so I'm going to click wired, because my Wii console won't connect to my internet for some reason. I think the Wi-Fi is too modern for it. You know, the Wii's pretty old. So the wired connection works great though. Perfect, it's successful. Just press no for asking for an update, and we're gonna click use this connection, go back, and now we're gonna change the settings. So here, go one page over, 2, 3, until it says auto obtain DNS. Just double check that you're on this page, because it's sometimes confusing with the IP address, you know. So we're on auto obtain DNS, click no, select advanced settings, and here we're going to change the primary and secondary DNS. Just type in what I do, 18.188.135.9. press OK. And then we're going to change the secondary DNS to the same thing. Perfect. So once it looks like this, we are ready. So press confirm, save, and then it'll run through another connection test. Perfect. It was successful. Just press no again when it asks you if you want to update it. And we're going to go back one page, go back again until you see user agreements. Now some Wii's, the wording is different, but it's the same. It's the third one down. So just click on user agreements. It asks you, would you like to use the Wii Shop channel in Wii Connect 24? Press yes. And it says you must review user agreements. Click next. And then it should bring you to this page. The blue unicorn page. So as it says, please wait, this will take 1 to 2 minutes. If your Wii remote stops working or responding, please power off your Wii and try again. So do not press I accept or I do not accept, just chill here a little bit until it loads into the Hackmii Installer. So I'll meet you when it finally loads in. Perfect, now it is running into the Hackmii Installer. All of this code is normal. It'll run through the screen and give us a warning. This software must not be sold, neither alone or part of its bundle. If you paid for this, you got scammed. So we're just going to sit here for like 20-30 seconds until the prompt to press 1 pops up. And there we go, we can now press 1 to continue. And here we go, we're in the Hackmii Installer. You're going to notice that it says the homebrew channel can be installed and Bootmii can be installed, or it'll say it can be installed as an iOS for Bootmii. Now either or work. We're going to get Priiloader, so the installation as an iOS works as well. Just press continue and let's install the homebrew channel. So scroll all the way to the top, click A on install the homebrew channel, click A on yes, continue, and it'll install. And it's very quick, just press continue. And now before we exit, we're going to go down to Bootmii, and press A. And then we have our different options here. So we can install Bootmii as boot to, or install Bootmii as an iOS. Now if you can install it as boot to, I suggest doing that, but if not, just install it as an iOS and that is just as good. And now this is also where you need an SD card plugged into the Wii, because it's going to install it onto there. So I'm going to install Bootmii as boot to, click yes, continue, and then click yes, continue, and it'll install Bootmii. Once it says success, just press continue. And we're also going to install Bootmii as an iOS so that we can load it through Priiloader. So press A on install Bootmii as iOS, yes, continue, click yes, continue, and it should install Bootmii iOS. Success, so press continue. And then once you're back on this screen, just go ahead and return to the main menu. Click on exit. So now we are in the Homebrew channel. Nothing will show up because we don't have any apps on our SD card yet, but did you know you can actually pop these bubbles? It took me like a year and a half to realize that. I just accidentally did it once. But anyways, let's head over to the PC, plug our SD card in, and get some Homebrew apps. And once you're back on your PC, open up your SD card and you should notice that we now have Bootmii installed on it. And now we're going to go download a package that I preset with everything you need to get set up. It'll be linked below and it'll take you to this Google Drive page. So just click download here, click download anyway, and it'll download in the bottom left as a zip file, so you will need an extraction software. So once you have that downloaded, open up your SD card again. I'll just split the screens here and open up the download. So if you open up Ultimate Wii Homebrew, pause, Future Scott here. I actually had to go and change the settings for one of the apps we're going to be installing, as shortly after I posted this video, the settings were changed. So the download, instead of looking like this, it will have 4 WADs here that look like this. And the zip file will be titled Updated Ultimate Wii Homebrew. I just wanted to let you know before I get any questions as why the zip file that you download is different than the one from the video. So going forward, just remember everything is fine and it will work as I have updated the video to the current settings. It should have all of this. So highlight it all and just drag it onto the root of your SD card. And once it's all transferred over, you can close the zip file and your SD card should look like this. So in your apps folder, if you open it up, it should look like this and have all of these apps. In your WAD folder, you should have these 2 WADs, and then you should have these WADs on the root of your SD card. So once your SD card looks like that, we are ready to plug it into our Wii and set everything up. So once you're back on your Wii, you should notice that you have the Homebrew channel. So let's load it up. And if your SD card is plugged in, you should see the apps pop up. If they don't, just click 1 and just select whichever device you're using. So I'm using SD slot, so I'm just going to select internal SD slot and press OK. So as you can see, we have all of these apps, but the first one we're going to install is Priiloader. So click on it and load it up. Now what this app is for is you can load into Priiloader before the Wii menu, where if you brick your Wii and you are unable to load into the Wii menu, you can run it into Priiloader and then fix it. So once you're on this screen, just press plus and it should install Priiloader. And there we go, it's all done. Press A to exit back to the loader. So we've installed Priiloader and now we're going to run it and change some settings and then back up our Nand. So turn off your console, and when you turn it back on, hold the reset button right after you press the power button. And then it should load into Priiloader. And once you're on this screen, the first thing we're going to change is some system menu hacks to protect your Wii. So use the D-pad to go down to system menu hacks and press A. And here we're going to change 2 things. Block disk updates, press A to make it enabled, and block online updates so that it's enabled. Now there's some other changes and settings you can do, but those are the only 2, because if you update your Wii while you have Homebrew software, it will brick your system because Nintendo does not like Homebrew. So we just block updates just to be safe. So go all the way down to save settings, click A and save them, press B, And now we're gonna run Bootmii iOS. That's why we installed it as an iOS as well, so we could load it from Priiloader. You can also boot it from the Homebrew channel, but I will show you that later. So for now, just click A on Bootmii iOS, and it should load into Bootmii. So now your Wii remote will not work. We need to use the power button to move. As you can see, I'm clicking the power button to move over, and reset will select. So we're gonna hit it 1, 2, 3 times until you're on the gears. So press reset when you are on the gears, and it should bring you to this page. And we're gonna choose the green arrow. So click reset on the green arrow SD card, and this will begin your NAND backup. Now this might take a little while, and along the way you may see black blocks pop up. That is fine. I think almost every Wii will have bad blocks. And while it's running, I guess I should tell you the importance of a NAND backup. So the whole purpose of having a NAND backup is to be able to reload your Wii if anything bad happens. So when you brick your Wii, it makes it unusable. So having a NAND backup, you can load into Bootmii before you load into the Wii menu. That's why we have Priiloader. And then you can install your backup onto your Wii, and it'll kind of reset everything. So it's really good to have, because if you don't, your Wii may become unusable and unfixable. But if you have your NAND backup and Bootmii and Priiloader installed, it's not a big deal if it happens. It's fixable. And it's good to know that bricking your Wii is actually really rare. So we're pretty much doing this just in case it happens, because it's better to be safe than sorry. Alright, that's taken about 8 minutes, and then once it's done, it's going to run through it again and just kind of verify everything. So I highly suggest letting it do this as well. But if you want to skip, if you're in a rush, you can press start. And there we go, the verification is complete, and it reprocessed all the bad blocks. So just hit the eject button to exit. And we're back in Bootmii, and we're going to use the power button 1, 2, 3, hit reset, and then hit the reset button on the Wii. And it should take you back to the Wii menu. And now that we have our NAND backup, it's kind of useless being on the SD card, so let's go over to the PC and transfer it to a safe spot. So over on your PC, when you open up your SD card, you're going to notice that you now have keys.bin and nand.bin. This is your NAND backup. But as I said, it's kind of useless just keeping it on your SD card, because if your SD card gets corrupted, you lose it, and then it's useless. So what we're going to do is create a folder on our desktop, or you can create it anywhere on your computer. Call it Wii NAND Backup. We're going to highlight keys.bin and nand.bin, and we're going to drag them into there. And once it's transferred in, if you open it up, there you go, you got your NAND backup on your computer in case anything happens to your Wii. And once it's transferred over, you don't need it on your SD card anymore because it just takes up space, so we're just going to delete it. This other file, installer.log, we can delete that as well. We don't need that. It just cleans up our SD card a bit. And if you have any backed up games already, you can right click, create a new folder, and call it WBFS. This can be on your SD card or a USB drive for USB Loader GX, and just place your backed up games inside. Now, for obvious reasons, I couldn't include any games in the download. Nintendo wouldn't like that. I do recommend only getting games that you own, but I will be showing you how to back up games that you own as well on USB Loader GX. So let's head back over into the Wii and get everything else set up. Back on the Wii, we're going to set up USB Loader GX now. In order to back up existing games, I'm going to put in my Super Mario Bros. Wii disc right now, so that it's inserted for later. There we go, it's inserted, and let's start up the Homebrew channel. Now, before we go into USB Loader GX, we need to download custom iOSs, and for that we're going to go into D2X CIOS installer. So load it up. Without having custom iOSs, the Wii would not be able to read games from an SD card or a USB drive, so that's why we get this app. Once you're on this page, just click A to continue, and there's going to be 4 different settings options. So I'm going to post a picture on the screen for which settings to have, but for the first one, use right on the D-pad and go all the way D2X V11 Beta 1. So that's new for anyone who have previously modded a Wii before. Go down to base, change it to 38, go down to slot, change it to 248, and then the revision, go all the way to 65535. Because once you have all of those settings, just click A, just press A again, and you should see this page, and it's just installing the custom iOS. Just let it do its thing, and I'll meet you when it's done. And once it's done, it should be green for success. Just press A again to continue. Now we're going to change the settings for the next iOS. We're going to leave the top one the same at beta 1. We're going to change the base all the way to 56. We're going to change the slot to 249, and the revision stays the same at 65535. So when you have those settings, just click A again, and it should begin installing the second custom iOS. And that one's completed. Success. Press A to continue. We are halfway done. There's 2 more. For the next one, again, leave the top the same at beta 1, change the base to 57, change the slot to 250, and press A again, and we'll install the third iOS. And that one was also a success. Press A to continue again, and we're going to change the base to 58 and the slot to 251. Once you have those settings, press A and press A again, and we will install the last iOS. And there we go, the last one was a success. So press A to continue, and then just press B to exit. Should take us back to the Homebrew channel. Alright, so now that the custom iOSs are installed, we can load into USB Loader GX and get it set up. Now I have everything on a SD card, so when it prompts me to enable SD card mode, I'm going to press A, but you can also have them on a USB device as well. So as you can see, I have one game right here that I added, Wii Sports, but I'm going to show you how to back up the games that you already own. But first we're going to change some settings. So go into the gear icons, go to hard drive settings. If you are storing your games on a SD card like I am, I'm going to turn off mount USB at launch, and that'll save me from having to press A every time I load USB Loader. So we'll change that, go back. So I have also included USB Loader GX themes in the download, so you don't even have to go out and find them. You can just go ahead and go to the gear icon, go over one, and we're just going to go to custom paths, go into theme path, and we're just going to make sure it is a proper path to our themes. Go to make sure it goes to apps, USB Loader GX, and click on themes. And here we go, there's our themes. But make sure the top it says SD/apps/USB Loader GX/themes. Press OK. Path changed. And now if we go back and go over one setting, click on theme menu, and you should see the options between these themes. So I included 8 themes, so you can pick between all of these if you want, and you can always change them, but I thought it'd be cool to include themes. So I really like the gray wave, I like the look of it. I'm gonna click on it and apply it. Click yes. And there we go. If we go back again, now we have a gray themed USB Loader GX. Obviously these themes are your choice. You don't have to do the themes if you don't want, but they are there if you want them. And now we're going to back up our disk. So I have Super Mario Bros. Wii inserted into my Wii right now. If you click on this plus icon, it'll ask you install a game. Just click yes, and then it'll run your disk. There we go. It found new Super Mario Bros. Wii 0.34 gigabytes, and press OK to install it. I'll meet you back when it's done. And there we go. It has successfully installed new Super Mario Bros. Wii. So press OK, and it'll reload, and there we go. We now have new Super Mario Bros. Wii transferred from the disk onto our Wii. Now there's a couple different options in USB Loader. If your Wii games aren't showing up, click this icon on the hotbar and make sure Wii games is checked. So make sure it's checked, press OK, and they should show up. If you go on this icon, it'll display your games in a list, and if your covers aren't already there, you can click on it and download them straight on your Wii. But you need a internet connection for this. If you want to get covers offline, you can use Wii Backup Manager. But I really like this menu. It looks like the Wii menu, but it's not. So that's what I prefer. You can open them and go through them like that. Press B. It's just really smooth. So now that we have USB Loader GX set up, let's learn how to install WAD. We're going to get the USB Loader GX channel on our Wii menu. If we want to change apps, you can click this Homebrew launcher icon, and now we have our Homebrew apps. Now we're going to go install WADs, so click on YAM, some YAM WAD manager, and load it up. It's very convenient, you can load it right from USB Loader. So here we go, we are on YAM. This is a WAD manager. I've also included 2 WADs that'll create channels on your Wii menu. Source device is device where the WADs are placed. For me, it's on my SD card. If you have it on your USB drive, you would just select USB mass storage device or USB 2.0. If you click the wrong one, it'll just say mounting failed or error, and then you can click again. So I'm going to choose SD slot, and it'll bring up a list of your WADs. Now these channels are optional. Some YAM mod is just going to be a shortcut on your Wii menu for this app, for WAD Manager. You don't need it, but I'm going to install it just so you can see what it's like. I do suggest, however, getting the USB Loader GX channel, as you can load the app straight from your Wii menu. So let's click A on the WAD, and if you ever decide to get rid of it, you can come back here and switch it to uninstall WAD. We're going to install it, just press A on install, and it should be pretty quick as most of these are pretty small. Press any button when it's complete and go to the next one, USB Loader GX, install WAD, and it will install. Press any button to continue, and just press the home button on your Wii remote, and we will return to the Homebrew channel. Now, if you run into issues on some YAM mod and your Wii remote does not work, most Wii Motion Plus remotes and third-party remotes don't work, so you need an original Wii remote. It's unfortunate, but kind of the way it is. But some people's remotes work fine, so depends on the remote, I guess. You gotta get lucky. So if you press the home button in the Homebrew channel, it'll give you this menu here. As I mentioned earlier, you can launch Bootmii straight from here, but we're gonna exit to the system menu and check out our new channels. And there we go, back on the Wii menu, we now have USB Loader GX and YAM. So those are the 2 WADs we downloaded. Now if you want virtual console games, you have to install them as WADs as well. So it is the same method as that. That is how you install any WAD. And also, now that you have USB Loader GX on the Wii menu, we can change the settings so that when you exit a game, it'll take you back to USB Loader GX instead of the Wii menu. So let's go change that if you want. So when you load into a game and click the home button and hit Wii menu, it'll take you to the Wii menu. But if you want to change that to make it return to USB Loader GX, go into settings, go to loader settings, go down all the way where it says return to, click it to turn it on, and you should see UNEO, which is USB Loader GX. Select it, and then just make sure it says over return to USB Loader GX. Perfect. Now press back again. Let's load into a game and just make sure that it works. Alright, we're in the game. Let's press the home button and press Wii menu. Let's see where it takes us. Bam, right back into USB Loader GX. After the loading, of course. And then if you hit the menu button here, you can go back to the Wii menu. So now we're going to go back to the Homebrew channel, and I'm going to show you how to download Homebrew apps straight from your Wii console. So I've also included the Homebrew browser in the list of apps in the download. Through this you can download apps straight to your Wii. So load it up, and just so you know, you will need internet connection for this, but it's not the only way to get apps. You can do that through download it on your PC and transferring it to your SD card. That works just the same, but this is just really convenient. So we've loaded it up. In the bottom it's saying checking icon. Let's just see if it adds images. So it loaded up fully, and now we have the images. So this is where you can download demos, emulators, games, media, and utilities. So as you can see in the emulators, you can get emulators to play Game Boy games, PlayStation games, N64. Now if you're interested in getting them and setting them up fully and getting the channels and everything, I have a full playlist of every emulator that I have downloaded, and it will show you how to get the full emulator experience. But anyways, you can download Homebrew games, RuneScape, Flappy Bird. So all you have to do is click on it and press download. Obviously you need internet connection for this, but it'll just download and place it in your apps folder on your SD card. But now we have it. We have the option to delete it as well. But anyways, that is the Homebrew browser. So let's go back to the Homebrew channel. Go back to our system menu. And there you have it. That is how you turn your regular old boring Wii into the best gaming console out there. This is setting you up so that it is very easy to add games, add emulators, and everything in the future to pimp your Wii out fully. Now, if you ran into any issues, please comment below and I'll try to help you out. And you can also join my Discord server, which is linked below if you want some help there. If you want to support my work, there'll be a link to buy me a coffee if you want, or you can use the super thanks. But obviously that's not expected, but I will ask you to like the video as it really helps my channel out and it's free. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this helped you, and I hope you enjoy your newly homebrewed Wii. And if you're interested in any other Wii tutorials, I have a lot on my channel in my Wii modding playlist. So anyways, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on my other videos. Take care.